think patience is always the best thing. It's a sport that takes a little while to improve at. You know, I think it's really easy to get put off by a couple bad sessions in a row, or a test that goes badly and it feels painful and you think, oh, this sport's kind of horrible actually. But cold water, cold days, but if you stick with it, it's a truly rewarding sport because it is one of those sports where the more hours you put in, the more you get out of it. So, and I think that's true of sort of everything in life, and it's really helped me a lot in my academic career because, you know, I really struggled between my master's and PhD. I actually got kicked out of my PhD. Well, I got my offer removed from my PhD and I had to petition to get it back. And I think if I hadn't learned to be very perseverant through rowing, I probably would have sacked it in at that point, but I'm really glad that I didn't. I'm glad rowing taught me that. So I think for anyone trying this sport out, that's one of the best things it can teach you, is just take it one day at a time and keep going.
Yeah, I think that I would say that first, rowing is a sport that gives you so much, and you don't necessarily have to give as much in return as it gives you, because it gives you so many opportunities to do things that you wouldn't have had the chance to do otherwise. I think that another big thing is rowing is not something that you have to do from a really young age. You don't have to start when you're 4 years old in order to be successful. It's the kind of thing that you can develop when you enter university or when you're in secondary school. So it's the kind of sport that really benefits those who maybe are coming into sport later. So for example, I was not particularly passionate about sport until I started secondary school, and that was when I picked up rowing, and it took me a couple of years to kind of get invested in the sport, but once I did, I really reaped the returns and the benefits from it. Everyone has those moments. To realize that you're not alone if you feel frustrated with a particular way that a session is going, or if you're really cold and you'd rather go inside and sit and watch TV or something like that, that you're not alone in feeling that way. But you know, that feeling you get when you win a race, or you hit a PB, or you fix a technical change that you've been working on for a really long time, those moments are really priceless, and I think that they carry over into your academic work as well. So you get the double benefits of not only becoming fitter and faster from an athletic and physiological perspective, you also get that in your coursework.
So I think in terms of balancing rowing and learning, it's almost quite a passive experience. You know, rowing tends to just expand to fill whatever available time you have. Where possible, you'd probably try and stop that. So instead of letting a 90-minute session run on to 3 hours, call it at 90 minutes and go home and do some work. But you just find that your spare time shrinks all of a sudden. And then if you've got work that you have to do, you realise very quickly that you just have to sit down and do it, which I think is probably the most valuable lesson you learn, in that if you have given yourself half an hour to get some work done, you just have that half hour and you've got to get it done. So you know, you learn that fairly quickly. In terms of maximising how quickly you move on in rowing, I'd say, you know, the problem with any sport is that what you think you're doing is very often not the same as what you're doing. So you have to place your trust in whoever is coaching you, and what they're saying it looks like you're doing is more than overwhelmingly likely to be correct. So like, they're not trying to lie to you. You have to just place your trust in whoever is coaching you and kind of move in the direction that they're trying to get you to go in. I think that's probably the best advice I could give.
It's not going to be easy at first, and you're going to run into a lot of challenges, and you're going to initially be down. It's quite interesting. Rowing, it's not a sport that comes naturally to most people. I was terrible, absolutely terrible, and I think I'm just starting to scratch the surface of being good enough to enjoy it. But I would always say persevere, because there's something so satisfying about knowing that you've come off the water after a great session, and it might be tough to wake up in dark days, your hands are going to get eaten up, your legs are going to hurt, but when it clicks and when you get it right, it is the most satisfying feeling in the world. And it's really something to always be working towards. And there's no sort of instant gratification in rowing, but it rewards perseverance, discipline, sort of just this mindset of always facing and stepping up to something new, a new challenge.
Have confidence in yourself. As our coach says, like, back yourself. Like, you're a lot more capable than you probably think. I know, like, I've surprised myself like dozens of times. So For someone who learned how to row at 18 and is here now rowing for the Blues, you can accomplish anything if you put your mind to it and really believe in yourself.
Don't do more than you're enjoying. If you're enjoying the amount you're doing, stick with that. And if you want to do more, then do. But don't subscribe to the idea that you need to be doing 10 sessions a week immediately, because I think that can be very overwhelming, as with any elite sport. If you jump in too quickly, I think you might get injured, you might be really, really tired, you might not be able to adjust. And if you've found a level that you're enjoying at the moment, then it's fine to stay there until you feel like you're ready to progress. There's no point taking it too quickly.
Very tough sport. It takes time to get the technique. At least it took me a long time. Other people hopefully will have a better experience with it. So I think really good advice would be patient with it. Put in the hours, put in the effort. But yeah, just enjoy being part of a team. Everyone's kind of doing the same thing. So be patient with it. Don't rush it. Don't get frustrated. And just be committed and enjoy the sport. It's great physical exercise. Gets you outdoors, which hopefully most times of the year is quite nice. So yeah, just be patient and enjoy it.
So this is my advice. Probably the first piece of advice would be just to stick it out and try and enjoy it. For me, I got to, so the third year I was rowing, I was 16, and I was just fed up with it. And I remember quite clearly going to the person who ran sport at my school, and I said, look, I'm not enjoying rowing. Can I switch to another sport? And he said, well, you could do hockey, but football's full up. So, and I thought I don't really want to do hockey, so I decided actually to carry on with rowing. And ever since then, really, I've just absolutely loved the sport. And I found with rowing, and I'm sure it's like other sports, the more you do it, the more you enjoy it, because you're getting better, you're getting a bit of a better understanding of what it's all about. You're forming friendships with the people in your year group who've carried on and done year after year. So my main advice would be just to try and enjoy it and try and stick it out.